The first thing you notice when a server room goes quiet is how wrong everything feels. Walking into that room Monday morning and hearing dead silence instead of the usual hum of cooling fans was like finding your heartbeat stopped. That room had been my command center for 24 years, the place where I kept the financial lifeline pumping for Southwest construction materials. Without those systems running, 4,200 construction workers across Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico don't get their paychecks. When construction workers don't get paid, they don't send polite emails. They shut down job sites. I'm Wade Sullivan, 53 years old, and I've been the senior systems engineer here since this company was running payroll on paper ledgers. Gulf War taught me that when communications fail, people die. In civilian life, when payroll systems fail, families go hungry. Same principle, different battlefield. At 53, I should have been planning my retirement, not worrying about job security. My son Danny's physical therapy school loans were $78,000. My ex-wife's cancer treatment last year wiped out most of our savings. Even with insurance, the bills kept coming. Chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, follow-up treatments. The insurance company found creative ways to deny coverage for things they called experimental or not medically necessary. By the time Sarah beat the cancer, we'd burned through $45,000 in out-of-pocket expenses. I'd been counting on my pension and health benefits to carry me through the next 12 years until I could collect Social Security. Losing this job wasn't just about pride or professional respect. It was about financial survival. Let me tell you something about construction payroll. It's not like processing payments for office workers who show up at 9 and leave at 5. These guys work in a 115-degree heat pouring concrete. They climb steel beams 20 stories up. They work double shifts when storms knock out power lines and people need electricity back. They deserve every penny they earn, and they deserve it on time. The system I maintain isn't some sleek cloud application that consulting firms promise in their sales pitches. It's a fortress built on hardened SQL databases, custom security protocols, and 24 years of defensive patches that I've applied with the precision of a communications specialist maintaining battlefield networks. I know every vulnerability, every backup protocol, every potential point of failure. When Arizona changed their prevailing wage laws last year, I rebuilt the calculation engine in 72 hours. When OSHA updated their reporting requirements, I coded the compliance module while drinking bourbon and listening to Lynyrd Skynyrd at 2 in the morning. You want to know how complex this gets? Try calculating overtime for a crew that starts work in El Paso on Monday, moves to a federal highway project in Santa Fe on Wednesday, then finishes the week on a private commercial job in Phoenix. Different states, different tax codes, different union rules, different federal requirements. Factor in hazard pay for working near chemical storage, equipment rental tracking that needs GPS verification, and prevailing wage calculations that change based on project type and location. Pierce Coleman's fancy AI system was about to get a reality check, and reality doesn't negotiate, but corporate doesn't see operational complexity. They see old systems that need modernizing, and they see me as the expensive legacy blocking their digital transformation. That's where Pierce Coleman comes in. Pierce is the VP of Technology, brought in 6 months ago when Rodriguez Family Holdings acquired us. He's got that Stanford MBA confidence and talks about synergistic optimization like it's a magic spell. I dealt with Pierce a few times before the acquisition. He's one of those guys who wears a tie to construction sites and stays in his air-conditioned SUV while real workers sweat in the sun. Never spent a day running mission-critical systems under pressure. Never had to explain to a single mother why her paycheck bounced because some consultant's brilliant solution crashed during peak processing. The meeting happened on a Tuesday. Pierce called me into his office along with Sherry Foster from HR. Sherry's been here almost as long as I have, but she's more concerned with protecting corporate liability than protecting workers. She had that nervous energy of someone delivering bad news while trying to smile about it. Pierce's office looked like a tech magazine spread. Glass desk, ergonomic chairs, and a window view of our equipment yard that he probably never actually looked at. He was typing on his laptop when I walked in, making me wait while he finished whatever critical task required his immediate attention. "Wade," Pierce said, not bothering to look up. "We're restructuring the IT department, moving to a more agile, cost-effective operational model." I sat down and checked my grandfather's pocket watch. 10:15 a.m., the same watch he'd carried through World War II, the same one my father wore during Vietnam. What does that mean for payroll systems? That's the exciting part. Pierce finally looked at me, flashing that practiced corporate smile. "I want you to meet my daughter, Brooke. She just finished her MBA and has developed an incredible AI-powered solution that's going to revolutionize our payroll processing. Here's the thing about family businesses. Bloodline trumps competence every time. I'd seen it in the military too, officers' kids getting promotions they hadn't earned. But I thought payroll operations were too critical for that kind of favoritism. I was wrong. Brooke Coleman walked in like she owned the building, which through family connections, she basically did. She was 26, wearing a business suit that cost more than most of our workers make in a week, carrying a tablet like it was the solution to every business problem. "Hi, Wade," she said, extending a perfectly manicured hand. "I've been analyzing your processes. Very thorough, but also very manual. I think we can optimize significantly." The way she said manual made it sound like I was still using smoke signals and carrier pigeons. Optimize how? I asked, though my tactical instincts were already reading the terrain. Brooke set her tablet on Pierce's glass desk and started swiping through screens with the confidence of someone who'd never seen a real system crash under combat conditions. "I've developed a comprehensive AI-powered payroll solution, cloud-based, intuitive, machine learning enabled. It can handle all the calculations you're currently doing with those legacy C-SQL databases." I stared at her for a long moment. "AI? You want to run payroll for 4,200 construction workers with artificial intelligence?" "Not just any AI," Brooke said, getting defensive. "This uses advanced algorithms, predictive analytics, automated compliance checking. It's like having a supercomputer, but user-friendly. User-friendly. That's what they always say when they want to replace something that actually works with something that looks prettier on PowerPoint slides. I've been in this business long enough to know that user-friendly usually means it works great in demonstrations until it encounters real-world complexity. Then you're dealing with a black box nobody understands. I looked at Pierce, hoping to see some recognition of how dangerous this was. "Is this serious?" "It's innovation," Wade, Pierce said, leaning back in his leather chair. "Brooke's model can reduce processing time by 40% and cut our IT overhead significantly." There it was. Cut IT overhead. Translation: fire the expensive guy and replace him with cheaper automation. I'd seen this movie before at other companies. Young MBA promises revolutionary efficiency. Experienced employee gets shown the door. 6 months later, they're begging the old guy to come back and clean up the disaster. "Payroll runs this Friday," I said, keeping my voice level. "Today is Tuesday. If you're planning to switch systems, you need to understand what you're dealing with." I started counting off on my fingers, using the tactical briefing format that had served me well in hostile territory. "We've got prevailing wage calculations for federal contracts that reference 847 different job classifications across 3 states. Union contracts with overtime rules that would confuse a tax attorney. Multi-state workers who can start the week in Texas and finish in New Mexico. Equipment rental tracking that requires GPS verification. OSHA compliance reporting with real-time incident correlation." Brooke was nodding like she understood, but I could see her eyes losing focus. She thought she had it figured out because she'd studied payroll theory in business school. "I've accounted for all those variables," she interrupted. "My AI has been trained on comprehensive datasets and includes automated regulatory compliance. Data swests." Jesus. The Arizona prevailing wage database alone has been corrupted since 2019. About 3% of job classifications return wrong county codes, which means workers in Phoenix get paid Tucson rates. That's $4,050,000 an hour difference. You catch that through experience, not algorithms. "Brooke," I said, trying to keep the condescension out of my voice, "have you ever calculated prevailing wages for a federal highway project where the crew works in 3 different counties in 1 week?" "I've studied the regulatory framework," she said. "Studying and doing are different things. You know what happens when you get prevailing wages wrong on a federal contract? Department of Labor audits everything. They can fine us for every miscalculated hour going back 3 years. Pierce waved dismissively. "We'll have compliance reviews." "Brooke's system includes automated error detection." Automated error detection, right. Like machine learning was going to catch it when some crew foreman in Albuquerque enters time data wrong and the AI's training algorithms return incorrect wage classifications for 40 guys working a government job. The memory hit me then, sitting in a communications bunker outside Kuwait City in 1991, watching our brand new computerized coordination system crash during the ground offensive. The brass had promised it would revolutionize battlefield communications. Instead, we spent 3 days relying on Vietnam-era radio equipment while tech specialists tried to debug code nobody really understood. Good soldiers died because some Pentagon consultant thought technology could replace experience. I wasn't going to let that happen to 4,200 working families. Wade, Sherry finally spoke up. We'll need you to provide Brooke with all necessary system access and documentation for a smooth transition. Documentation? I almost laughed. Most of the critical processes are in custom code I wrote over 24 years. The real operational knowledge isn't documented anywhere. It's earned through experience. That's the reality of systems that actually work under pressure. They're not built from textbook theories. They're built by people who've been in the trenches long enough to know where all the hidden mines are buried. I know that the Phoenix time clock system has a glitch where it double stamps entries after 11 p.m., but only on Wednesdays and only when network traffic is high. I know the concrete crew union contract has a meal break clause from 1997 that nobody else remembers. But if you don't account for it, guys lose their penalty pay. Brooke doesn't know any of that. She's got her shiny AI model with its machine learning algorithms, but she's never had to explain to Hank Morrison why his crane operators are showing zero earnings because some calculation logic went sideways. Then document everything before you go, Pierce said. That's when I knew they'd already made their decision. They weren't seeking my input or trying to understand why their plan was tactically unsound. They were giving me my discharge papers and expecting me to train my replacement. When's my last day? I asked. Friday, Pierce said, after this week's payroll run. We want to ensure operational continuity. I thought about Danny's student loans, about Sarah's medical bills still coming in, about the mortgage I had 8 more years to pay off. At 53, starting over meant taking whatever I could find. Probably at half my current salary. No company would match my pension contributions or my accumulated sick leave. But looking at Brooke's confident smile and Pierce's dismissive attitude, I realized they'd already written me off. In their minds, I was just an obstacle to progress, a relic standing in the way of innovation. And if there's no continuity, I asked. There will be, Brooke jumped in. I've tested my system extensively. On what data? Sample datasets from HR plus theoretical modeling scenarios. Sample data. Theoretical scenarios. She tested her revolutionary payroll solution on fake numbers. It was like testing a helicopter by flying it around a parking lot and assuming it would handle combat missions. I stood up, my knees popping the way they do when you've been sitting in bad chairs or when you're about to make a decision that'll either destroy you or vindicate everything you've learned. All right then. I guess we'll see how your system performs under fire. That's the spirit, Pierce said, already looking back at his laptop. Sherry will have your severance paperwork ready by close of business, he added. I walked toward the door, then stopped and turned back to Brooke. One piece of tactical advice. She looked up from her tablet, probably expecting some technical tip about database connections or file security. When your system fails, I said, and it will fail, don't panic. Just remember that 4,200 people are depending on those paychecks to pay mortgages and buy groceries. That might help you prioritize your debugging. The look on her face told me she still didn't get it. She thought this was just data processing. She had no idea she was about to be responsible for people's livelihoods. I didn't argue anymore. Sometimes the best instructor is experience, and Brooke was about to get an education no MBA program provides. The next 3 days felt like watching enemy artillery zero in on your position. I spent Wednesday and Thursday doing exactly what they asked, documenting procedures, creating user guides, writing step-by-step instructions. But 24 years of operational knowledge can't be transferred through documentation. You can't write down the instinct that tells you something's wrong when all the indicators look normal. Brooke shadowed me those days, taking notes on her tablet and asking questions that revealed she had no concept of what she was walking into. Why do you manually verify the Arizona classifications? She asked Wednesday morning as I ran through pre-payroll diagnostics. Because the state database has been corrupted since 2019, I explained. Shows correct wage rates but returns wrong county codes about 3% of the time. Miss it, and Phoenix workers get paid Tucson rates. Can't we just fix the database? It's a state system. We don't control it. We work around it. She typed something on her tablet. I could see her making a note like fix state database issue, as if that was something she could handle with a phone call.
Wednesday afternoon, I called Danny to check on how his job search was going.
He'd graduated from physical therapy school 3 months ago and was still looking for a position that would let him start paying down those loans. Any luck with the VA hospital interviews? I asked, still waiting to hear back. The private clinics pay better, but they want 2 years' experience. It's like needing a job to get a job. You know, I knew. At 53, I was about to find out exactly how that felt. Dad, you sure you're okay? You sound stressed. Just work stuff. Nothing you need to worry about. But I was worried. If I couldn't find another job quickly, I might not be able to help with his loan payments. The kid had worked his tail off through school, studying while working nights at a hospital to pay for food and rent. He deserved better than watching his old man lose everything because some MBA thought she could replace experience with algorithms. Thursday afternoon, Brooke felt confident enough to start importing live data into her AI system. I watched her upload raw time files from 23 job sites across 3 states. The system immediately started lagging. It's just processing, she said, refreshing her browser while the AI churned through 4,200 employee records. But I could see what was happening. Her machine learning algorithms were hitting logic conflicts because she didn't understand how prevailing wage calculations cascade. When you have federal, state, and local requirements that can all apply to the same job, you can't just use simple pattern matching. You need conditional logic that checks multiple criteria in a specific sequence. Brooke, I said carefully, you might want to test that on a smaller dataset first. It'll be fine, she replied, but I could hear uncertainty creeping in as her browser started timing out. I thought about calling Pierce, warning him that his daughter was about to crash and burn, but I remembered his dismissive attitude, his assumption that I was just being obstructionist. Some lessons have to be learned the hard way. Friday morning came, and it was time for the official handoff. Brooke showed up early with her laptop and that nervous energy you see in rookies before their first combat mission. Ready to make history? She asked, trying to sound confident. I gathered my personal items while she set up at my workstation. Coffee mug with world's okayest systems engineer printed on it, photo of Danny graduating from PT school, and my grandfather's pocket watch. Seemed appropriate to take it with me. Something told me they'd need the time more than I would. Bank cutoff for direct deposits is noon, I reminded her. After that, people don't get paid until Monday. Got it, Brooke said, already focused on her screen where the AI was grinding through payroll data like a wood chipper trying to process steel cables. I started to leave, then stopped. Brooke, one more thing. She wasn't really listening. She was staring at her screen where the AI system was showing error flags on about 60% of the calculations. When this goes sideways, and it will go sideways, don't try to fix it by reprocessing the same data. Each time you rerun, you create duplicate entries. Fix the logic first, then reprocess. Sherry walked me to the security desk where Rusty Palmer was waiting with my severance paperwork. Rusty's good people. Former Army mechanic who understands the value of knowing your equipment inside and out. Sorry to see you go, Wade. Rusty said as I signed the documents. This doesn't feel right. It's just business, Rusty. Bad tactics, but business. I drove home in my pickup truck, windows down, classic rock on the radio. I should have been angry, but mostly I felt like watching a disaster movie where you know the missile is incoming, but the characters haven't figured it out yet. My phone started buzzing around 10:30 a.m. Text from Cole Bennett, one of the payroll clerks. Wade, Brooke's system is showing weird numbers. My overtime says I worked negative hours last week. Then another from Dusty Ward in the Phoenix office. Man, according to this AI, I make $74.03 an hour as a concrete finisher. If only, by 11 a.m., my phone was lighting up like a communications array under attack. Guys from across our territory were checking their pay stubs online, and nothing made sense. Employee ID numbers were getting mixed up with social security numbers. Job classifications were scrambled, crane operators listed as office clerks, concrete finishers showing as executives. The best one came from Rex Stone, foreman in El Paso. Wade, my pay stub says I worked 2,847 hours last week and earned $47,000. Did I win the lottery or did the computer have a breakdown? I could picture exactly what happened during data import. Brooke had mapped the wrong fields. Employee IDs were being processed as hours worked. Hours worked were being treated as pay rates. The AI was trying to calculate wages using social security numbers as multipliers. But the real disaster was still incoming. The weird numbers online were just the reconnaissance probe. The main assault would hit at noon when the bank tried to process Brooke's payroll file. At 11:45 a.m., my phone rang. Sherry from HR, voice tight with panic. "Wade, we need to talk. Brooke's payroll file is showing some irregularities. According to her AI calculations, we owed the IRS $1.8 million in tax withholdings, but had only collected $240,000 from paychecks. The bank was questioning why we were trying to direct deposit $52,000 to one equipment operator while simultaneously deducting $31,000 from a crane operator's pay for something called algorithmic processing fees. Has anyone briefed Pierce yet? I asked. He's in meetings all day. Brooke said she could resolve it. Famous last words. I'd heard them from every overconfident rookie who thought they could repair a damaged system with determination and good intentions. By 2 p.m., Southwest Construction Materials had become ground zero for a payroll catastrophe. The bank rejected Brooke's file so hard they probably flagged our account for fraud investigation. According to their automated response, we were attempting unauthorized transfers to invalid accounts using corrupted data protocols. The employee portal crashed under the load of 4,200 workers trying to understand why their pay stubs looked like they'd been generated by a malfunctioning slot machine. Some guys showed overtime rates of $500 an hour. Others had negative salaries and somehow owed the company money. But the real fireworks started when the union got involved. Hank Morrison has been representing construction workers for 30 years. He's built like a linebacker, thinks like a strategist, and has zero tolerance for corporate incompetence. When his people don't get paid, Hank doesn't file grievances. He shuts down operations. By 3 p.m., Hank was standing on the back of a pickup truck outside our main office with a megaphone, and work trucks were lining up behind him. Southwest Construction thinks they can experiment with working people's paychecks. His voice carried across the parking lot. If they can't figure out how to pay us, maybe we should stop working for them. The work stoppage spread like wildfire through social media. Phoenix sites shut down first, then Albuquerque, then the highway project outside Santa Fe. By 4 p.m., every Southwest Construction job site in 3 states had gone quiet. 4,200 workers sitting in their trucks, posting videos online, calling local news stations. The footage was devastating in a beautiful way. Aerial shots of idle construction sites, interviews with workers holding pay stubs that defied mathematics, union reps explaining to reporters how a company building half the Southwest's infrastructure couldn't handle basic payroll. My phone kept buzzing with updates from Rusty and other guys still inside the building. Brooks locked herself in the conference room. Rusty texted. Been trying to debug her AI for 4 hours, but every fix breaks something else. Another message. Pierce has been screaming at tech support all afternoon. Apparently, Brooke wiped the original data trying to reload the system. That made me smile grimly. Of course she did. When you're in panic mode and nothing's working, the instinct is to start over. But when you restart an AI system without proper data backups, you lose everything. Brooke had just erased the only copy of the source payroll data. Over the weekend, the story went national. Construction giant's AI payroll system leaves, thousands unpaid. The union organized food drives for workers who couldn't buy groceries. Local businesses offered credit to families waiting for their paychecks. The state labor boards in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico all announced investigations. Tuesday morning, I was sitting on my back porch drinking coffee and reading news coverage of our payroll disaster when my phone rang. Pierce Coleman. Wade. His voice sounded like he'd been chewing gravel. We need to talk. Morning, Pierce. Saw you on Channel 7 last night. Nice interview. Especially liked how you called it an unexpected optimization challenge during digital transformation. Cut the commentary. The state labor boards in 3 states are opening investigations. The union's talking class action lawsuit. The bank froze our operating accounts because our payroll file triggered their fraud detection algorithms. Sounds like a complex situation. I need you back. Consulting basis. Name your rate. I'd been expecting this call since Friday afternoon, but hearing the desperation in his voice still felt good. $200 an hour, 40-hour minimum, cash up front. Done. I'm not finished. I want a written apology from you, and Brooke posted on the company website admitting the payroll problems were caused by premature implementation of inadequate systems. Long silence. Then, fine. And one more thing, I report directly to the CEO now, not through your department. I'm done taking orders from people who think AI can replace 24 years of operational experience. Whatever you need, Wade, just fix this. I drove back to the office Wednesday morning. The parking lot still had union guys maintaining their presence, but they waved when they saw my truck. Hank Morrison walked over as I was getting out. Wade, Tell me you're here to save our backsides. Working on it, Hank. You should see movement by Thursday morning. What about back pay for time we've been sitting here? Every penny, with overtime for guys who were scheduled to work. I walked back into that building like I was retaking occupied territory. The server room felt like coming home after a long deployment. I fired up my systems and started surveying the damage Brooke had inflicted. It was worse than I'd anticipated. She hadn't just corrupted the payroll data. She'd managed to lock database tables, create infinite loops in the tax calculation modules, and somehow convinced her AI that we employed 50,000 people named Icoro. It took me 22 hours of continuous work, but I rebuilt everything from archived transaction logs, real backups stored on systems Brooke didn't even know existed. By Thursday morning, I had a clean payroll file ready for transmission. I hit the send button at 6 a.m. The electronic transfer went through perfectly. 4 Sharon's 200 workers woke up to find their correct paychecks waiting, plus overtime compensation for the days they'd lost sitting in parking lots. Friday morning, I walked into Pierce's office. He looked like he'd aged 5 years in 1 week. "It's done," I said. "Everyone's been paid correctly, including compensation for the work stoppage." "Thank you," he said quietly. "Where's Brooke, reassigned to market research?" Turns out family connections only go so far when you nearly trigger federal investigations. I walked to my new corner office, the one with windows overlooking our equipment yard. Through the glass, I could see construction sites coming back to life, cranes moving, trucks rolling out with full crews. 6 months later, 3 more companies in our industry called, asking for help after their own digital transformation disasters. Turns out experience doesn't go out of style, it just gets more valuable. Pierce still works here, but he runs major system changes past me now. Brooke transferred to a different division, heard she's doing well in market research where the stakes are lower and algorithms can't hurt people's livelihoods. Danny got hired at the VA hospital in Phoenix. His first paycheck covered 2 months of loan payments. Sarah's cancer stayed in remission. The extra consulting income let me pay off the medical bills and start rebuilding our savings. Sometimes the corporate world has to learn the hard way that the old guard earned their positions through more than just time served. Sometimes you can't replace 24 years of battlefield knowledge with fancy algorithms and good intentions. And sometimes when they try to fix what isn't broken, they discover that the guy they fired was the only one keeping the lights on. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out that bottle of good bourbon I'd been saving, poured a shot into my coffee mug, and raised it toward the window where real workers were heading out to build the infrastructure that keeps America running. Here's to experience over education, loyalty over profit, and making sure working people get what they've earned. That's worth defending. Because in the end, the best technology isn't the newest, it's the one that works when people's lives depend on it.